Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. So we're at Section 3, recognitions, and we're at 3.1, recognition of Colonel Daniele Mastroberti, representing the Consul General of Italy in Miami, in appreciation of the renewal of partnership and funding in the Italian program in the Okaloosa County School District through 2023. And Mr. Chambers?
All right, I appreciate it. And board, as you know, we're very fortunate to have the Italian program that we have here in Okaloosa County. And we've had this program for a number of years. And this program resides at Blue Water Elementary, Ruckle Middle School, and Niceville High School. And it's also a program that is funded through the Italian consulate, which we absolutely appreciate. I do have some words that I would like to read as well. And just to also let you know that I think Colonel Mastroberti is about 5 minutes away or so.
Well, if you'd like, we can just move on down to Section 3.2, and we can do
I would appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will do that. So we'll move down to Section 3.2, which is recognition of Jody Dunn, Crestview High School Band Director, recipient of the Florida Bandmasters Association's 2021 Oliver Hobbs Award for consistent superior ratings. Mr. Chambers?
All right. This recognition is something that I know brings all of us up here great joy. We know here, and our schools know, this community knows that our band programs, our music programs are second to none in the state of Florida. And I used to say that at the middle school level, when you would go listen and you would close your eyes, you wouldn't know whether you were listening to a professional band or whether you were at the middle school. And that's a testament to what we have here and how that feeds all the way to our high school programs. And if you've had the blessing to go to a Macy's parade or one of the other parades and see not only the excellence of our kids and the excellence of our band instructors, but also the parent volunteers, it's amazing what happens in our schools. So I'm excited for Mr. Dunn. Where are you at, Mr. Dunn? There he is over there in the corner. And I do have some remarks that we're going to read on behalf of Mr. Dunn. And so tonight, it is my honor to recognize Jody Dunn, Director of Bands at Crestview High School, on being named the recipient of the Florida Bandmasters Association Oliver Hobbs Award for consistent superior ratings. There are only up to 4 recipients selected per year, so think about that, 4 per year across the entire state of Florida. Since its inception in 2006, there have only been 45 band directors across the state to receive this award. 4 of those reside here in Okaloosa County. So again, think about that. 45 band directors, 67 school districts, 4 of them right here in Okaloosa County, and I don't think that's a surprise to any of us. And those 4 are Randy Folsom from Fort Walton Beach High School, Mr. Dan Wooten from Niceville High School, who I think I saw slip in as well, Eddie Stedman from Ruckle Middle School, and Jeff Adams from Niceville High School as well. According to the Florida Bandmasters Association, this award recognizes FBA members who have consistently done an exceptional job year after year in the position of band director. In order for a band director to win this award, the following criteria must be met. They must be an FBA member for at least 15 years and a current band director in the state of Florida, attends FBA district and state meetings on a regular basis, superior, which means at least 75% of the time, ratings at the district concert and marching assessments, participation in with outstanding results at the district music performance assessments, and then service to the profession. And Jody Dunn continues to be an exemplary leader here in Okaloosa County, and especially at Crestview High School, and especially for the Big Red Machine. And I'd also just like to say on a personal note, I appreciate the guidance that Mr. Dunn has provided, not only myself, but our staff in the school district in decisions that we make for the band. He's a leader amongst his peers, and he is definitely deserving of this award. So Mr. Dunn, if you'd come forward. And I'm going to come present this with you in 1 second, but you might want to say something to the board.
Yes, first of all, thank you for this opportunity to be recognized, and I very much appreciate you recognizing the directors that are here that came before me that received this award. And I wanted to recognize all of my friends, colleagues for being here. That's kind of a snapshot of how we are here in Okaloosa County. We are each other's biggest fans. We support each other, we cheer for each other, we celebrate each other. And as you said, Mr. Chambers, here in Okaloosa County, there is a lot that we can celebrate with our band programs, our music programs, and those students that we are privileged and blessed to be able to teach. And this award is, as I said, it is a career highlight because I was nominated by my peers, my assistants, Sean Dyke and Kim Whaley, and then the vote was approved by our district, FBA district from Escambia through Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. And it just represents all that you said, the excellence that exists with our band programs here in Okaloosa County. And I'm humbled and honored and very appreciative of this opportunity and this recognition. But it really is more than just about me. It's about all of them and all of our students. So thank you very much.
Mr. Chambers, could I say something? So I don't have any prepared notes to say about Mr. Dunn, but I can just be a testimony that from my own daughter, having known Mr. Dunn and been tutored by Mr. Dunn in band from, 6th grade in Richburg Middle School's band all the way through the high school. And also she was influenced by Randy Folsom, who I was at Richburg with him as well, and then at the high school as well. And I don't know if Mr. Wooten taught her or not, but I certainly was with him at Richburg. So I just want to, from a personal standpoint, thank you and have you know again that your influence on my own daughter, as well as the hundreds, probably thousands now, that have been under your tutelage. It was important, it mattered, it taught those students dedication, reliability on a calendar, how to be dedicated to the team, not just a soloist. But it really instilled a lot of perfectionist techniques in those students, and I thank you personally as a parent for that.
Thank you for saying that, and your daughter was a pleasure to teach, and I continue to follow her throughout her life. And that particular class, they went with me all through those middle school years when I was at Richburg and on into high school, bless their hearts. And it's been one of my joys to be able to see them as they're adults, they're parents now, and it's just one of the blessings of a long career to have just wonderful children like Kristen and the rest of them. So thank you, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you.
I'll just say one quick thing. My first experience with Jody Dunn, my oldest son was playing soccer, and we had went up for a parent meeting or something like that. Well, the football team was out practicing and the band was out practicing. Well, I kept hearing this loud voice coming through the loudspeaker, and I was thinking it was the coach at the time of the football team, and it wasn't. It was Jody Dunn. He was the one up on the tower yelling, or not yelling, but speaking through the intercom, and so I was like, well, there's a well-oiled machine right there. So
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate all
Yep.
of you very much. Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Principal Day, if you come forward, you may or may not have some nice words for Mr. Dunn.
I know this. Jody makes my job a lot easier, and it's, we were talking on the way down, and it's what band and music and the arts brings to our school, and what the kids is a lifetime activity, and also it's the creativity, and these kids do so well in class, not just in band, because band's important, I know, okay, but it's the academic piece that goes along with that he instills in them, and I know because I was out there when he was yelling, okay, that they get it, but they love him and they respect him as a relationship that he's built with kids for years. It's had a great impact in Crestview, in the state of Florida, and throughout our nation, and it's all because of him. So that's what I got to say about Jody Dunn.
Beautiful today.
And I forgot to add that your influence helped two of your students, Kristen and Mansell, start the Tri-M
That's right.
sorority at FSU
Wow.
because of this man's
Yes.
influence.
They're exceptional young ladies, absolutely.
Mr.
And
Bryant, could you join me? Go ahead, Mr. Beth.
I was just going to say how much I appreciate this man here and the support of not only the band, but all the programs. He sees the importance of every child at Crestview High School, and he is every child's biggest cheerleader. And I got to tell you that I have learned a lot and know what it's like to have the ideal relationship with my building principal. And this is him right here.
It's
So,
easy with him. It's easy.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Just want to get a picture of y'all two first.
If everybody who's here celebrate Mr. Dunn, can come on up.
Go wide angle in.
Brad's tall enough to
We
get
get
back.
like from here to here, back on the deck behind, you want to step up? So you guys
Steve.
here, take it back behind him, and everybody take 2 steps back, a little bit in front of that. Good?
Can-
All right, good.
It's a motley crew right there.
And if everybody on the back row will just make sure I can see you, so you may have to spread out a little bit.
We don't need to see Brad.
Window right here.
I get it. Yeah, and then I can, right there, okay, perfect. Ready? So everybody keep smiling, I didn't see it, but. Eyes open wide. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 6:13.
Mr. Chambers. Do you want to go ahead and do? Yeah, go.
Go ahead.
Okay, so now we're going to go back up to section 3.1, the recognition of Colonel Daniele Mastroberti, representing the Consulate General of Italy in Miami, in appreciation of the renewal of the partnership and funding for the Italian program in the Okaloosa County School District through 2023.
All right, thank you, sir. And kind of like what we were saying, and thank you, Colonel, for being here. And just reiterating just the importance of the Italian programs in our schools, especially at Blue Water, Ruckle, and Niceville. So we are grateful for those programs, and we know the difference that they're making in those schools, and in essence, how that also impacts our county. So we appreciate that. And we do have some words for you. The renewal of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Consulate General of Italy in Miami and the School Board of Okaloosa County was approved by the board in June of this year. Tonight, we celebrate our continued partnership, which is approved through the year 2023, and allows students at Blue Water Elementary, Ruckle Middle School, and Niceville High School to participate in Italian courses. The program funds teacher salaries and resources, and also provides ongoing support for the Italian teachers. The Italian program is an asset to our district's world language curriculum. Representing the Consulate General of Italy in Miami is Colonel Daniele Mastroberti, Italian Senior National Representative, Italian Training Supervisor, and Commander of the Italian F-35 Joint Strike Fighter Pilot Program at Eglin Air Force Base. And also with us, I know that he has a guest, as well as Mr. Bernard Johnson, who is a true partner to the school district. So, Colonel, if you would come forward. And you might have some words actually before I come to you. You might have some words first, so you go ahead.
Absolutely, and good evening, everyone, and I apologize for my English, so I'll try to do my best, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for hosting me here, and of course, as you anticipated, Mr. Chamber, on behalf of the General Council, it's my pleasure to be here and giving you officially, even if it has been signed a few days ago, the memorandum of understanding that basically fosters this future challenge, because it's a challenge. It's a great opportunity, and it's a great possibility for us as an Italian community here, but I believe also for the school to have this diversity inside the teaching environment in order to be able to the guys and to everyone that attends the school to see something different, to see a different culture that usually enriches people. So it's my pleasure and honor to be here representing the consulate and handing you the MOU. So far, the program has been a great success. Because I believe all the support that's been given by the school has been outstanding. The teachers have been outstanding, and there is Mrs. Tucker, which is basically the person that I deal the most in details to get the program going, is giving us a great support, and we have a lot of nice activities that we're looking forward to put into the school and district and be able to even share even further our culture and our language. So again, thank you very much for the nice word, Mrs. Chambers. It's a really pleasure to meet you here. And now I don't know how it works. If you want to give me
That's right.
First, let me-
And before I come up,
I
there
do
one
have-
other.
I do have the memorandum with me,
Okay.
so I can hand you that as a starting point.
All right. And Dr. Kelly,
That's
can you
the
come up?
original copy, of course. So.
This is Dr. Kelly, the school board member
Okay.
for our schools here. So we're gonna kind of do this at the same time.
Okay.
And this is for you and our appreciation as well.
Okay.
And Ms. Kelly, he's the school board member for Blue Water, Ruckle, and Niceville High School.
I would like to shake the hands, but we cannot.
We
So
can do it.
let's
We can
do
do
this
it.
right here.
All right. And do you want to have the gentleman join us for the picture?
Absolutely.
All right. Come forward. Picture?
Yeah, I'm about to go. Come on. Bernard. He's the guy doing everything, honestly. He's the one behind the scenes.
And thank you again so much. We really appreciate it.
It's really my pleasure. And from my side,
All right.
I'd just like to.
Yours is nicer than ours.
Oh, no, doesn't matter. It's not important. It's personally to you, Mr. Chairman. In recognition of the outstanding partnership, I'm looking forward to continue in this way. So, again, thank you. Oh, well, sure.
Let's do that right quickly.
While they are picture taking, I might just add that I visited the Italian classroom at Blue Water, and it's really exciting. It's wonderful to see those elementary students so engaged in another culture and another language. So thank you.
I'm really glad about it. Thank you for the support.
Thanks.
Real quick, Bill, would you do us a favor? Would you hit the thermostat real quick? We are in Florida. It is starting to warm up outside.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Chambers, and thank you to our guests that were here tonight. We do have public hearings, so if you would please go down to 17, public hearing. 17.1 is public hearing for adoption of revised school board policy 04-18 extracurricular activity, eligibility, and participation guidelines for high school students grades 9 through 12. Is there anybody from the public here to speak on this particular item? Hearing and seeing none, I need a motion to approve this policy.
I move.
Ms. Ivanchek makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 4-0. So now we'll scroll back up to section 5 and 5.1, appointment of Assistant Principal 2, Meigs Middle School. Mr. Chambers?
Thank you, sir. And it's my pleasure to bring before you, the board, Mr. Ernest Joey Chancellor for consideration for Assistant Principal Meigs Middle School. Ernest Joey Chancellor relocated to Fort Walton Beach a little over a year ago, along with his wife, who is an ESC instructional coach for the district. They have 3 adult children. Their daughter, Shalisa, age 30, who resides in Texas, daughter Adara, age 24, who lives in Wisconsin, and son Karsten, 20, who is attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And they put "Go Badgers," which is it's a little hard to say right now, but we'll let that one slide right now. Mr. Chancellor has been an educator since 1991. He's held every educational position from daycare teacher to aide and paraprofessional, and then began his teaching career as an elementary and then middle school teacher for 12 years. Most recently, before the move, he was an assistant principal / athletic director at Franklin Middle School in Green Bay, Wisconsin for 4 years, and then associate principal / summer school director at New London Middle School in New London, Wisconsin. Not only has he educated students within the classroom, but also coached both the girls and boys basketball for many years. Since moving to Florida, he continues to officiate many levels of basketball and football. He believes all children are a gift and possesses diverse talents and capabilities. He considers it a privilege to help facilitate their learning and academic growth while fostering a staff culture that always wants to see students doing their best. He strives to provide a safe and nurturing environment where each student can have the opportunity to experience success and progress. It is his goal to help encourage students to look beyond the 4 walls of their classroom and view the world around them as a place of learning and discovery. He's very excited about his new journey as assistant principal at Meigs Middle School and is looking forward to hitting the ground running, meeting new students and staff, and working with the rest of the administration, fully jumping in to the Wildcat way. He has a kids first educational philosophy, and his door is always open, and that's Mr. Chancellor for Meigs Middle School.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chambers. And with that, I need a motion to approve item 5.1, appointment of Assistant Principal 2.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Bryant.
And Dr. White makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? None? Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you
Yes.
vote? Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
There's a few things I'd like to say. I'd love to work with that guy, too. I just want to thank the board for this evening's opportunity to address you and my colleagues. I'd like to thank Mr. Chambers for being a part of your administrative team and your shared wisdom. The interview team for their time and seeing the potential in me to better serve our students. Dr. Willis Doxey for her trusting in me and my efforts to build and foster a positive culture within OCSD. Mrs. Lamb for taking the time over the semester to have meaningful conversations about our educational philosophy and how we can collaborate our efforts to do what's best for students. For the Meigs staff, I thank them for their warm welcome this afternoon and look forward to their spirit and energy. Go Wildcats. And then finally, my wife for paving the way to Fort Walton Beach and spending our years as empty nesters with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to, and I'm not going to wear a mask because I've had a double dose of Madeira.
Little goodie bag.
Oh, awesome. Before we take a picture, do you have any words from Mr. Chancellor?
I am just super excited that Mr. Chancellor is going to join us. We're 2 peas in a pod when it comes to loving on kids and wanting what's best for kids and making Meigs the very best it can be. So thank you very much.
Chancellor, if you come forward too.
It's always great when we have the start of our meetings, when we're doing recognitions and promotions and all, so. All right,
Absolutely.
so now we're going to move down to Section 6, Public Comment. 6.1, members of the public desiring to address the school board, Form MIS 5241, public input and/or discussion of agenda items. And I received no blue cards tonight, so we'll move down to Section 7, which was workshop only. 7.1 was in-county travel. And then now we're to Section 8, consent agenda. 8.1 will be the approval of the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Dr. White, I'll give you it. and
Yeah, Dr. White.
Ms.
You have it.
Vancheck, I'll give you the second.
Thank you.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. So now we'll move to Section 9, Superintendent's Human Resource Recommendations. 9.1 and 9.2 were information only. 9.3, out-of-field report for the 2020 through 2021 school year. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Vancheck. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. 9.4, employment separations. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move it.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Is there a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Vancheck. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. 9.5, personnel recommendations. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Ms. Vancheck makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. 9.6, employee transfers. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
Move it.
Dr. White makes a motion. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. 9.7, reinstatement reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty illness, injury, medical examination. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
please? Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. 9.8, leave without pay. I need a motion to approve.
Move it.
Also move.
Dr. White makes a motion. Dr. Kelly will do the second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. So now we are to discussion agenda. 10.1, there was no items moved. 10.2, proclamation of Career and Technical Education Month in Florida. And Dr. Chambers, or Dr. Chambers, Mr. Chambers.
All right, I appreciate it. And as the board knows, this is the month for career technical education. And I think we all know that our governor in Florida, his goal is by the year 2030 for Florida to be #1 in the nation as it pertains to career and technical education. And I think each of us in Okaloosa County, we want to be a leading driver of that force for career technical education. And we have, I'll even say, re-anted, in terms of doing everything that we can do here in our county to make career technical education the best, not just for ranking's sake, but because it's what's right for kids. And we put a lot of emphasis in the elementary this year with Kids Code. And I know Ms. Branscombe, she's going to come up here in a moment. She'll talk a little bit about that. But we want to be a pipeline from elementary through middle school, through high school, straight to our workforce, whether students are going to college first or whether they're going to the military or straight into the workforce here locally. So I'm extremely proud of Ms. Branscombe. I'm extremely proud of Ms. Hayes over at OTC and the post-secondary program that they have there, which I think is second to none in this state, and what she has done to strengthen OTC and to take it up at a completely another level is remarkable. And I absolutely appreciate what she's doing there for her students. So great job. And she's also going to come up and just share a little bit as well. But I'm going to read the proclamation from the governor. And as you know, there's a few whereases. Whereas Florida recognizes and promotes the value of career and technical education, and my administration has pledged to make Florida #1 in the nation for workforce education by 2030. And whereas we have continued Florida's investment of $10 million for the Pathways to Career Opportunities grant program to provide high-quality pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship opportunities for students by providing them an avenue to help meet the needs of our rapidly growing workforce. And whereas in September we launched Get There Florida, a premier workforce education initiative to increase enrollment in our state's high-quality CTE programs at our 28 state and 48 technical colleges. And whereas Florida's Perkins State Plan was formally approved by Governor Ron DeSantis and subsequently by the United States Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, which ensured the receipt of more than $73 million to support school districts, technical colleges, and state colleges in delivering career and technical education to Florida students over the next 4 years. And whereas Florida secured $6.5 million in performance funding for students earning industry certifications in high-skilled, high-demand areas at career technical centers, and secured $14 million in performance funding for students earning industry certifications in high-skill, high-demand areas at Florida college systems and institutions. Whereas Florida was awarded $10.9 million for CARES dollars supporting 69 agencies to build capacity for CTE infrastructure and equipment to support in-demand CTE programs of study for K-12 students. And whereas Florida was awarded $35 million in partnership with all districts with an accredited technical college and all Florida college system institutions to support 59 institutions and rapidly enrolling and completing students in high-demand, high-value, short-term career and technical education programs. Now, therefore, I, Ron DeSantis, Governor of the state of Florida, do hereby extend greetings and best wishes to all observing February 21st as the Career and Technical Education Month in Florida, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the state of Florida to be affixed at Tallahassee, the capital, this day, February 9th, in the year 2021, Governor Ron DeSantis. So that is the proclamation, a few whereases. And if at this time,
And with that, we need to make a motion to approve the proclamation. So with that, I need a motion to approve the proclamation.
I'll move.
And Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. And is there any discussion? No? Ms. Vancheck? How do you
Yes.
vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 4-0. So,
all right, thank you, sir. And Ms. Branscombe, if you'd come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. We appreciate you all allowing us to come before you and share some of the successes that we've had this year, which due to COVID, we've not had as many as we would like because we haven't been able to get out into the community like we would like to. But we still have a lot of great things going on. And as Mr. Chambers mentioned, one of the things that we're really excited about is our elementary program. So we last year secured the legislative funding for our elementary program. And this year, we got the Boeing Award for $50,000. And then, of course, the foundation matched a portion of that, about $20,000, and we were able to purchase Little Bits. And we have these Little Bits in every elementary school. including Richburg School. So we're really excited about that. It's been a great success. The kids are loving it. We just see so much excitement when they come in. And it is a 6 weeks program, so we get to bring another group of kids in every 6 weeks. And it's free to the students, so there's no charge to the students. We have written another legislative funding request for another $185,000 to try to bring it in and bring it down to even younger ages. So we're looking to go all the way down to kindergarten. So Mr. Chambers' leadership has allowed us to pursue that particular funding request. So we're really excited about that. So one of the things that we're working on as well is a Triumph request. We're going to put in a Triumph request for our STEM. Mr. Chambers, this year with our CARES Act, we were approved for the CARES Act, and we were able to get money for our STEM programs to purchase computers in every one of our STEM classrooms. That was a big hurdle that we had to overcome because we had all this technology that we needed to use, but we didn't have computers to run it. So the CARES Act allowed us to do that, and under Mr. Chambers' leadership, we got that, and we're looking to help the district out and supply money for our seat management for the next 2 years. So we're really excited about that opportunity. I've talked a lot about industry needs, and one of the things that we have to do in career and technical education is we can't start a program unless industry says we need that. And one of the things we've heard over the years is carpentry, trades, the different trades in our area. So we have started a program at Choctawhatchee High School of carpentry, and it has just taken off. And I don't know if you're following our social media pages, but Friday I posted that we got about 7,000 pounds of lumber from an organization over in Pensacola, and they want to partner with us to give us more wood. And so we're really excited about that. So our students are getting to learn real-world projects by using this lumber. Miss Lamb, who was just here, she's interested, or I think she's still here. She's even considering starting a program at MEG. So that will be another program that will feed into our middle school, our high school program. And the neat thing about it, last week I was talking to the teacher over at Choctawhatchee High School, and he said he had a parent come to him and a student and said, my student is trying to decide if I want to go to if he wants to go to the leadership track or the carpentry track. Well, our carpentry teacher is a former Army Ranger, and he told the student and the parent, he said, I will teach you leadership skills like no other, as well as carpentry skills. So you make the decision. You can come with me, and I'll teach you some leadership skills along with a real-world skill, or you can go to the leadership class, which is great either way, but learning from someone who has those skills is pretty amazing. So we're excited about that program at Choctawhatchee. And of course we started our program at Bruner this year, and it's just taken off as well. So a lot of cool things going on. A few weeks ago, and I'm trying to keep this short, but there's, it's kind of exciting the things that we're talking about. We met with Waste Management, which is a huge organization, and they want to partner with us. And Ms. Hayes and I and Mr. Chambers, we have an appointment to meet with them to bring them in for a tour of our automotive programs, because they want to work with us in getting our students, high school and the Okaloosa Technical College, into their facility to work. Not only to mention the automotive, but our welding program too, and any other things, because they have a lot of different positions in their organization. So a lot of really good things going on. We're excited about what the future holds for us. And as Mr. Chambers said, that Governor DeSantis wants Florida to be #1 by 2030. We want Okaloosa County to be #1 before 2030. So we're working towards that. So appreciate you all allowing us to come speak and share what we're doing. We'd love for you to come into our classrooms, and excited about CTE, and especially with the COVID, we hear a lot about the need for a lot of different trades, a lot of different skills, and I mean, if that's any kind of silver lining for COVID, that's a silver lining. But can I answer any questions for any of you?
No,
Well,
but
I have
thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thanks.
Well, I have a request, and Superintendent, if this is something that you might choose to do, or maybe at a later time, or whenever it might be convenient, if it's convenient, I would appreciate having sort of a one-page executive summary, if you will, that might kind of outline some of the things that you just talked about, some of
Okay.
the CET programs, some of the updates, some of the grants. I know you mentioned the CARES Act, and maybe even some of the donations, our programs, our participation rates of students, and even in terms of certifications that they have earned through testing, and any kind of awards that we might have received. Because I'll tell you, in the community, there is great interest in this. And frequently, it's very difficult for me just to remember all of the accolades
Yeah.
and all of the successes that you and your programs and your teachers and your principals have had. And if you could do that and just send that by email or whatever it might be, Superintendent, you might choose even to put it on the website to show folks the level of interest and dedication that we have to this. I think that would be helpful, and I know that it would help me because I just can't remember it all when I'm called upon.
Well, it's funny you say that because I do have, it's not as extensive as I would like it to
All
be.
right.
So I can give you what I have.
Excellent, that'd be great.
But I don't have the donations and things like that on
Okay,
here,
well,
but
maybe
I'll
at a
get
different
that.
time.
We'll get that.
I wasn't sure if I could share that with you.
Thank
Looks
you.
longer than one page, though.
No, but we have a lot of,
Oh, I know, that's the hard part. You might have to go to four-point font.
but I will update it and share it with you. Thank you.
And that is a great
Excellent.
suggestion, Dr. White, and we'll get that one-sheeter, and I think that's a great idea.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I would just also comment, the use of social media. Y'all have really ramped that up a lot here lately, and I think that's a great avenue to get the word out. And I know all of us, if we see it out there, we'll like it, share it, help you get the message out. But just exciting to see all the great things that are going on.
There's so many things,
I know.
and I wish we could, I try to do one a day, but, if I could get more from the teachers, they're so busy.
Right.
And, but we're gonna try to get more out there, and because we definitely think that that's a big draw, and we want people to know about what's going on in our schools. And just like Dr. White said, there's so much happening, it's hard to keep up with it all.
Right.
So,
Excellent.
thank you.
And also, I think many of you know, last semester, we were fortunate to have the Chancellor from the Department of Education to come visit Okaloosa County and visited OTC. And we toured the school, and he had nothing but praise for what he saw there. So at this time, if Ms. Hayes would come forward, and just again, we appreciate Ms. Hayes for her leadership and what she's doing for career and technical education.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. I appreciate you and the fact that you came out when the chancellor was there, and you were able to actually hear it, and I didn't have to tell everybody and make them second guess whether I was telling the truth or not. The chancellor was impressed with what we were doing, what we are doing at OTC, and we're working hard every day. About a year ago when I was appointed, and a little over a year ago, when Mr. Chambers asked me, what is your goal for OTC? What do you see OTC as? And I turned that question on him and asked him the same thing, and so we had a really good discussion about that. But part of that is when the governor said that by 2030, Florida's going to lead the nation in CTE, I took that as a challenge. Like Ms. Branscombe said, we're going to make it. Okaloosa County's going to make it before 2030. One, I'll be gone before then. She'll probably be gone before then. So we've got to do that. And I think both of us are competitive enough to do that. Some of the great things, and Dr. White, I don't have my sheet for you, but I will get it because
good.
we've got some awesome things
And if you don't
going
mind,
on.
I have a suggestion. If you can include perhaps some quotes from the chancellor.
Oh.
That might be advantageous.
Okay. Okay. I don't know that they'll be direct, but we could get close probably. So one of the things I'll just throw out there right now, Dr. White mentioned about certifications. So far this year in welding, we've had 46 certifications since August 11th. In automotive, we've had 20 ASE certifications. These are professional level ASE certifications since August 11th. HVAC has had 48 certifications. Not only that, but we lead the nation in the scores our students make. So our HVAC program, we're about an 84%, the nation's about 74%. So we're already beginning to ramp that up and lead the nation. So like I said, we're going to get there ahead of time because we're going to push it hard to get there. Right now, cybersecurity, not even halfway through the program yet. We've already got 6 certifications in cybersecurity, and they don't finish until July with that program. We have 64 certifications in carpentry. Now, with that said, you know, we've got these carpentry programs starting in the middle schools and the high schools, and we want to build that pipeline. So those students who leave out of those programs, they can roll right into us because the certification goes to a level 4 with NCCER. And so those students can roll right to us to be able to get that certification to be able to go into the workforce. One of the whereases that Mr. Chambers read talked about the Get There campaign. OTC is highly involved in the Get There campaign, and I don't know if any of you have noticed the billboards we've put around town and around the county, actually. We are pushing for CTE to be as high a level in Okaloosa County as possible, and we continue to put out there what we're doing for our community. We want our industry partners involved and knowing that we can do for them things that they're asking for us to do. One of the other whereases was the rapid credentialing, putting students into a program so they're earning certifications rapidly. We had one in the fall, one rapid credentialing program, and we have one coming up in the spring. Both of those are dealing with networking. So that we went out to industry partners and asked, what do we need? What should we offer? And networking was the answer that we got back. And so we're offering that program. Just today, we had $792,866 dropped into our G5 account, which is pretty much our bank account for higher education. And that money, of course, I'll be coming back to let you know what it's going for, but that comes from CARES Act money. $196,665 of it has to be given directly to students. When we did this back in the spring, early summer, late spring, we gave more than what was required to students to be able to help them with whatever it is they needed help with. We will do the same thing this time. We will give them more than what they're telling us we have to. We keep our labs to high industry standards. I just signed a PO to spend $65,720 on a pipe beveling and deburring machine. Now, I understand the beveling part, but the deburring part I don't get. And I can tell you what gauge pipe it will go to and all of that, but it really wouldn't matter to me because I wouldn't recognize it if it was here. But that's the kind of money that we have to spend in CTE to be able to keep our labs to industry standards. So when people say we want the best CTE, they've got to understand there's a lot of money that's got to go with that. And, you know, we're doing everything we can at OTC to spend that money wisely and put it there so students can use it. Industry partners are looking for our students to intern at all times. We want to put them out there. Unfortunately, most of our students are fully employed before they ever leave. They skip the internship part. They come to us, you know, when the students are halfway through, we'll hire them now. They can continue the program. We just need for them to be hired right now. So they want them to continue the program, though, because they want that knowledge. They want that experience that they get with us. We are, in that Get There campaign, one of the focuses we have is that in the technical colleges, the 48 technical colleges in the state, we're very accessible. Physically, where we're located, and financially. So, and I know you guys have heard me say this over and over again, but almost all of our students get some kind of financial assistance to come to school. There is almost no student who can't get something to come to school, and it really does not cost that much to come to OTC in the big scheme of things. $2.92 per clock hour. The skills that our students get prepare them for those high skill, high demand, high wage jobs, because a skilled workforce is not cheap and a cheap workforce is not skilled. And that's all I have.
Nice.
Any questions or comments for me?
Well, I just have one, kind of feeding off what Dr. White was saying about numbers and all. I would just be curious to see in the future, since we're making this big investment also in the CTE program, what our graduation rates, couldn't even get that out straight, are going to look like here moving forward. I think we're going to capture those kids who will find, a skill that they want. And of course, you have to, pretty much any job now, you have to have a high school diploma to even get a job in most of these skilled positions. So that will keep them in school. So I would just be curious to see what the numbers look like in the future on our graduation rates.
I will tell you guys this. One of our biggest challenges is getting instructors. That the workforce is paying them so well. So one of our biggest challenges is when we're looking out for, right now I can tell you, nursing instructors. I just hired an HVAC instructor. So those people are hard to come by. They're very hard to come by to come in to teach. But we're very fortunate with the ones we have, and we just got to know it's an investment.
And can I just add
Yes, sir.
how much I appreciate the superintendent and you and all the other folks that came forward with this information. And it's great, it's good, it's what people want to know about in particular. And I suspect we'll probably be seeing this on Facebook video soon.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to when we can get farther down out from under COVID and allow our public to come to your facility, like a kind of an open house, and Ms. Branscom's things, when we can open back up and let people come and see what you're doing. I think that would be, I know we put it on Facebook and that's great, but nothing like coming in there and seeing those things. So hopefully that's coming soon, that we can open those facilities up and really show off what you're working so hard with.
Are y'all building the tiny house again this year?
We are. We just sold our last 2 tiny houses right before Christmas. They left the campus 2 weeks ago. We've already started on our new ones. And going back to people who donate, we did have all of our electrical and plumbing supplies donated by Wind Supply. We put that money back into building. And one of the stories that the chancellor got to hear was from one of our adult VA students in the carpentry class, who said what he wanted to do with the program, what he learned in the program after he left. And good testimonials we have on our campus. So come. I'm in Ms. Vanchek. There are people who work in this district every day who have no clue what goes on our campus, and I would love for everybody to come.
And I'll just say, I have visited several times, and there's always something exciting going on out there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So now we're going to move down to Section 11, Construction Programs Owners Representatives Business, and 11.1. Dr. Kelly, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, we meet once a month, so we've already had our February meeting, and I gave that report. And at our last report, I told you about 11 task items that we had, and pending our approval tonight, we will add a 12th one. And that 12th one would be primarily the multipurpose and cafetorium projects at various schools across the district, and a few new additions that are sorely needed. So pending approval tonight, we will add item number 12 to that long list. Thank you.
All right. So as Dr. Kelly said, we're going to move to 11.2, and that's TPM Program Number 6, Task Order Number 12, Pre-GMP District-Wide Sales Tax Construction Projects. I need a motion to approve, please.
I move.
Ms. Vanchek makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Vanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, 4-0. And nothing under Section 12. Mr. Attorney, we'll go to you.
No report tonight.
All right. Mr. Chambers, we'll go to your business, sir.
All right, and tonight I will be short and sweet. As you know, on Thursday we gave a lot of information. And tonight I just want to say you all were also emailed a copy of the parent newsletter, and hopefully you'll have an opportunity to look at that. And one of the pieces of that parent newsletter is a link to the Kids Code. So you'll see some of our elementary students in action, working with the Kids Code, the little bits that Mrs. Branscombe referred to. So it's kind of neat. And we produced that video in-house as well, which makes me more proud. But very excited about what's going on with Kids Code, with CTE. But look at the newsletter, and a lot of good information. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chambers. And we'll move down to board members' announcements and requests for information, and I'll start with Dr. Kelly tonight.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, lots of exciting things happening in Niceville's district. I'll just announce that Niceville's men's soccer team advanced to the 6A Region 1 finals, and that is tomorrow night. And the game that got them there was Coach Nelson's 400th win. So think about that, 400th win. And the Niceville High School girls soccer team made it to the regional semifinals as well. And though they didn't win, we are extremely proud of the work ethic and the hard work and the support of their teammates and their parents that got them there. And we have a super Niceville High School Science Fair winner is a freshman, Marisol Engados, who won the regional and environmental science category, and she advances to the state level with an invitation to go to the International Science and Engineering Fair. And we had quite a few notables at the recent All Sports Awards banquet, and among those was Niceville High School Class of 2015 Collegiate Drew Frederick, who received the All Sports Collegiate Award. He's a senior at Troy, and he plays shortstop. And then, because I love Laurel Hill too, Haley Hudson from Laurel Hill received the All Sports Association Spirit Award. Okay, so that gets that portion of my announcements. I know you'd be disappointed, Chairman, if I didn't say that March 1st through the 5th is Read Across America Day. So I know we'll be doing some great literacy things. I know Ms. Lightborn and her group probably have some excitement going on there. And we are 16 days away from the end of the third grading period. I just can't believe that. I just cannot believe we're this close to the end of the year. It's just really kind of gone by. I know we've had our emphasis on other things, but now to get back to grading. I did want to make a comment about a couple of things I noticed coming from the state level, and I know we'll all want to keep our eye on these. And I noticed that the Commissioner of Education, Richard Cochran, issued an emergency order regarding state assessments. And I want to get the quote right because it's interesting. He stressed the need for those assessments to, quote, measure progress and determine what supports might be necessary, end quote. That order modifies the testing window and provides that results will be provided no later than June the 30th for grade 3 and July 31st for others. And those of us who have been around a while know that's a little early. And that was so that we could get an early idea of what learning gaps might be. That was interesting. But then the correlate to that I saw on the FSBA site was passed by the House, called the American Rescue Act. Now, I know that it hasn't passed through the Senate yet, so it's still kind of in that iffy stage. But if this passes, this could be quite another windfall for us. And I know it's iffy because it hasn't gone through the Senate. But if I read that correctly, the number filtered down from the federal level through the states, through Okaloosa, we would receive $55 million, with $11 million of that earmarked for learning loss strategies. So again, I know that that's iffy, but I know that Mr. Chambers and your staff will be watching that very closely, and I look forward to maybe that becoming a reality, but I know we don't pin any hopes on those kinds of things, but that was just very interesting to read. And the last thing, I'll just have the reminder that tomorrow night at 4 o'clock here is our initial Citizens Oversight Committee meeting for the sales tax group. So that'll be exciting as well. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Dr. White?
Thank you, Chairman. Just a couple of things. Regarding the announcement regarding the Citizens Oversight Committee, I wanted to say that I very much appreciated receiving a copy of the agenda for that. And I know that the attorney and staff and everyone else had to work, spend some time putting all that together. And I just wanted to say thanks. Thanks for doing that, and thanks for sending that. I have a quick announcement regarding Choctawhatchee High School. This is from their Twitter feed 8 hours ago. The Choctawhatchee High School boys basketball team competes in regional semifinal game at Mosley tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And Choctaw is selling tickets in the front office today from 10 to 2 and tomorrow from 7 to 2. And 8 hours ago, there were only 150 tickets. So I'm not sure how many are left. But in any case, if you want one of those, then you should do so and go ahead and see about getting that. And that's really all I have at this time. Thank you,
All right,
Chair.
thank you. Mr. Vanchek?
Yes. Well, it was a beautiful day out, so I had to take a little ride to Baker because mainly I wanted to meet Baker's newest state champion. As of last week, Miss Lexi Lucas is now a state champion in weightlifting. And so I wanted to meet Miss Lucas today, went up to visit with her. And Miss Lucas, when she was competing, weighed in at a big total of 113 pounds, and her lift was 145.
Wow.
So I know we'll be seeing her later on, but it was exciting. Also, David Oglesby, one of their coaches there, was named the Assistant Coach of the Year at the All Sports this weekend. So it's always great things happening when I head north to Baker. It was a beautiful day up there. And I have one more thing coming back south, and I want to thank Dr. White for allowing me to make this announcement because it does have to do with Choctaw High School, but he's gracious enough to let me announce this because it's always wonderful to be able to recognize former students. And I've said some things before because I'm very lucky to have had some wonderful students. And the new Choctaw football coach is a former student of mine. His name is Mr. Frank Beasley. And Mr. Beasley has been with the Florida High School Athletic Association the last few years, but he's coming home and taking over the helm at the Choctaw football. So I'm very proud of him as my former student. And the final thing I want to talk about is this is Public Schools Week in the state of Florida. And I am a proud product of a public school system, this one, the best. And worked my entire career, or most of my entire career here, and I just think that we continue to be in the forefront of public schools and what they can do for individuals in this country. I think we do it the best, and I'm proud of that. So happy Public Schools Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vanchek. And we'll move down to section 16, public comment. This is the 2-minute version. 16.1, members of the public desiring to address the school board, Form MIS 5241, public input and/or discussion of agenda items, and I don't believe we have anybody here. So we'll go around the room. Ms. Scallon, Dr. Hale, Mr. Strong, Ms. Appleberg, Ms. Lightbourne, Mr. Horton. All right, this meeting's adjourned.